Wugtrio has always been viewed as a sort of meme in the Pokemon TCG, as it relies on flipping heads on some coin flips in order to mill cards and having an awkward attack cost in order to do this. But with the release of Black Bolt and White Flare, having cards like Hilda and Ignition Energy can really help milling that much easier, especially when you have access to some old broken cards in Expanded that can manipulate the result of coin flips. Let's get into it. Wugtrio has the attack Undersea Tunnel, which can be fulfilled by a single energy attachment of Ignition Energy and Reversal Energy, and allows us to flip 3 coins, and for each heads we get to discard the top 3 cards of our opponent's deck, meaning that we can discard up to 9 cards in a single turn. And with the new Hilda from Black Bolt and White Flare, that makes it much easier to get Wugtrio set up, as it allows us to grab any energy card from our deck, whether it's special energy or basic energy, and an evolution Pokemon from our deck. If we get tails on all of our coin flips of Undersea Tunnel, it's not much to worry, as we do play Glimwood Tangle, which is a stadium that allows us to flip all coins again after we attack if we wish. And if we don't have Glimwood Tangle in play, Victini with the Victory Star ability, I think it's called, which basically has the same effect as Glimwood Tangle, which is absolutely mental. We can mill even more cards from our opponent's deck, as we play Cursed Shovel, which is a tool card that discards 2 cards from our opponent's deck if we are KO'd. And if we are KO'd, we can technically still survive with 10 HP remaining, as our ace spec of choice is Survival Brace, which is absolutely mental. And obviously Survival Brace gets discarded after we are attacked into, so that is completely fine. But we can play Lana's Fishing Rod, which allows us to shuffle any tool and Pokemon back into the deck, and we can get these tools out with Adventure Bag as well. Pretty much the perfect combo. We do expect to get KO'd quite a lot, as the main focus of our deck is basically to mill our opponents so that we can, basically mill them out and basically win the game by them not having any cards left to draw. Which is absolutely crazy. So we do have to play a bunch of comeback based cards like Fezandipiti EX, that's a popular one in Standard at the moment. You get to draw 3 cards after you're KO'd. Countercatcher, which basically gives us a free gust as long as we are behind on prizes, which we always will be, because as I said, our main win condition isn't to take prizes, so we will always have 6 prize cards remaining naturally, so that's kind of crazy. We can even item lock our opponent in the early game with Budew, which is obviously a really disruptive card, especially in Standard at the moment. Prevents your opponent from playing any item cards. And speaking of disruptive, Crushing Hammer, which allows you to flip a coin, and if heads, we get to discard an energy from one of our opponent's Pokemon, which can be really tilting if we do get a few heads, and it can make our opponent not attack, which is really, really good. And yeah, basically the rest of the deck is down in the description if you wish to copy and paste it into TCG Live, and you can feel free to make any changes you like. Let me know your thoughts on this Wugtrio mill deck in the comments. But with that being said, let's get milling. Alright, getting into a game here then with Wugtrio mill. And it looks like we are going second against Charizard EX. This could be an interesting matchup, because they might play the Pidgeot EX, being able to get them any card they like out of their deck, which could help us down the line with milling. Anyway, we do top deck a Wiglett. I do have a pretty good opening hand. I'll go get 2 Wigletts with that Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and then I will try and Crushing Hammer excuse me, and we do get a heads off that Crushing Hammer, so we do discard the energy attached to the Charmander. I will attach the Survival Brace early, and I think I'm just happy to Item lock with Budew here, Itchy Pollen, 10 damage, may not seem like a lot, but they're going to struggle playing items next turn. You know, they can't get into their Charizard EX this turn, which is really good thanks to Rare Candy, because that's an item card. So we are pretty good there. Though it would be kind of nice if we could get knocked out here, because we have the Hilda in hand, and that allows us to grab a Wugtrio and a Reversal Energy, which is kind of crazy. They evolve into Charmeleon, okay, that's fine. They attach an Energy, okay. I think, is that it? Yes, that's it. We can top deck another Hilda, sure, why not? Best setup, the best way, I guess we can grab a Reversal and a Wugtrio, and I'm probably going to have to item lock again here, to be honest, just to be an extra bit of a pain. I wonder if our opponent can get into the Charizard this turn. We have turned off their Terra Orb that they got into their hand last turn with the Arven, so that is good on our part. It just depends on whether they've, you know, like top decked into it or something. They do boss us up. Will they be able to do anything? Because we don't have the best hands. There's a Hero's Cape. That gives the Charmeleon like 190 HP. That's kind of crazy. And they just pass. Okay, so I'm sort of forced to go and get another Wugtrio and another Reversal Energy with the Hilda. Hilda is so broken, it's absolutely crazy. And yes, then we can just attach an energy there, and unfortunately I can't really do anything in terms of attacking, so we're just going to have to pass to our opponent. We don't have the greatest hands. We do have the Buddy-Buddy Poffin and the triple acceleration energy, but other than that we do need some form of draw, like an Iono maybe, so we can get a fresh 6 cards. Obviously the Iono always guarantees us 6 cards, because our main you know, win condition of the game isn't taking prizes, it's milling our opponent and making sure that they deck out so that we win. Anyway, they're just going to set up their entire board and have 2 Charizards on the board. That is really, really scary. Here's an Iono though, that is really, really good for us. We can get a fresh 6 cards, and that's what I like to see. Another Wugtrio, a Fezandipiti in case we get knocked out. I know we're not getting knocked out this turn because of the Survival Brace, but that could be really, really helpful later down the line when we're going to be getting one shot pretty much every turn by this Charizard, so that is really, really good. We have a Crushing Hammer as well, we can be extra annoying. Counter Catch will come online once our opponent takes a prize card, so it's all looking up, folks, it really is. We even have an adventure bag to go get some Cursed Shovels if we need. Yes, this looks very, very good for us. They've got their Charizard has 430 HP, that's kind of crazy. Anyway, we get healed to have 10 HP remaining, and the Survival Brace gets discarded. We live another day. We top deck another Glimwood Tangle. I think I will just tuck down the Crushing Hammer and have a go. Let's go. We get another head on the Crushing Hammer. That is excellent. You know what, I may as well add a heads counter for this game. I'll add it on screen now, and we'll see how many heads we get by the end of the game. Anyway, we can just set up, I guess. We might just have to accept that the Wugtrio in the active will die. But you know, sacrifices must be made to win the game, and I think this is one of them. Anyway, we do have a pretty good hand regardless. We do have another Wugtrio powered up, ready, waiting in the wings, ready to get milling. So yeah, they attach enough energy from hand. Charizard players always have it in their hand, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, there's the knockout. We can, or our opponent's going to take a prize, that's completely fine, and we can just start attempting to mill. The Cursed Shovel top deck is actually kind of wild, because now we can you know, mill an extra 2 cards if we're knocked out, which is really good. So that is really good. We got to Fezandipiti as well. We've got to flip the script for some more cards. There's a Rescue Carrier. We can go and get that Wugtrio back from the discard pile if we want, along with the Wiglett as well, I've just realised, which is really good. We have Counter Catcher. That's basically a free boss at this point. So I'll dust up the Pidgey, and we can Pokégear for an Iono. That's really good. That means we can, I think I'm gonna have to Rescue Carrier, so we can get that Wiglett and Wugtrio back, and then I'm gonna definitely bench this Wiglett, and I'm gonna Iono so we can get the Wugtrio back into the deck, which is really good for conserving resources. We can shuffle back the Survival Brace in with Lana's Fishing Rod. That is excellent. I've got 2, I forgot to add what's it called, Ignition Energy for this game. That's crazy. Anyway, if you don't know, triple acceleration is pretty much the same thing as Ignition Energy, except it has to be attached to an evolution Pokemon, whereas Ignition Energy you can attach it to any Pokemon you like, but it still provides free energy at a time, which is crazy. Obviously, you know, that's really broken for this attack. Reversal energy is really good as well in general. Anyway, we have a Xerosic that could come in really handy in terms of disruption, you know, because that just makes them discard until they have 3 cards in their hand, and obviously if they can't do anything with the 3 cards in their hand, they're sort of stuck in top deck mode, and you know, obviously we're going to be going to try to mill their deck as much as possible so that they can deck out. Is that 17 cards left in deck already for them? That is crazy. The win might be coming very shortly, folks, because that is a very small deck size, if I do not say so myself. Anyway, they attach, they retreat into Charizard. That's completely fine. We're going to be milling an extra 2 cards thanks to the Cursed Shovel this turn, which is really good. There's 180 damage. That's completely fine. The Iono embossed to the discard pile. That's really good. They have 14 cards left in deck. That means if I get 3 heads this turn, I can just mill 9 cards and say, you know, pretty much GG, shake my hand. We top deck a Reversal Energy. That is mental, and we can definitely flip the script here. There's another Wugtrio. That is excellent. There's another Wiglett as well, and I'm pretty much happy with that. I think we can just try an undersea tunnel now, which is really good. See how lucky I am today. How lucky am I feeling? 0 heads, 0 heads, 0 heads. Okay, I meant to say 1 tails, 2 tails, 3 tails, but we'll flip again because of Glimwood Tangle. 1, 2, 3 heads. Let's go. Mill 9 cards. That is excellent. All those cards into the discard pile, and they've gone down to 4 cards remaining in deck, which is far too few for them, because we're just like 2 coin flips away from winning. If we get 2 heads, we win. Unless they play any more cards and get any more cards out of the deck, then we only need 1 more heads to win the game. But you know, they're not going to do that. So actually no, we have the Cursed Shovel. What am I talking about? That just mills 2 cards for us anyway because we're knocked out. What am I talking about? We just need 1 heads now. That is mental. And you know, even if I don't get it, I have another Wugtrio in the hand, so I will just evolve that. And you know, in case we don't get the heads that we need, it's very unlikely, because we have Glimwood Tangle in play. But I'm going to gust up with Counter Catcher up the Pidgey, as that has 1 retreat cost, so you never know, they might not have the energy in hand. Anyway, we're going to try an undersea tunnel for game here. Let's see if we can do it. There's one heads, let's go. We don't even need any more heads. Thank you, Wugtrio, coming in clutch. We can just discard the last 2 cards of their deck and we win because they deck out. GG's, what a deck. With new cards like Lily's Determination coming out soon, I'm sure this isn't the last we'll see of Wugtrio Mill, but what do you think? Are Mill decks finally going to be competitively viable? But until next time, stay strategic everyone. See ya.